us breaking all the rules. Started out from VA and now we on the move. From local to global, cause we got something to prove. We came from the bottom, now we at the tippy top. To hold it down for our people, cause we all we got. This a cold, cold world, but we keeping it hot. With our future on the line, ain't no time to stop. All work over here, still we having fun. Yeah, we say it like it is, ain't no holding our tongue. Go get us on the team, yeah, we getting it done. And shout out to Travell, yo, you number one. It started with a dream that turned into a vision. To educate new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politicking. If it ain't about to change, mind your business.
Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it.
Welcome to another episode of Wait Again Minute Podcast. I am Gam, and I gotta apologize to y'all already off the riff because my co-host is not here, but she will be back next Thursday. But in the meantime, I have a special co-host, and his name is well, let me be politically correct. Rashod Harris.
Yes.
So how are you, Mr. Harris?
I'm doing great. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. How was your weekend?
It was cool. It was more than cool. It was my birthday weekend, so I turned 38. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So,
did had a very low key but very satisfying and fulfilling weekend. So I ain't mad at it.
okay, 38. Let me see. I remember when I was 38.
Oh, what'd you do?
I don't know.
That you don't remember, I guess.
Actually, no, I don't remember. But it's been a couple of moons ago.
A couple of moons.
Yeah, just
Ages
just a
ago.
few. Yeah, just a few.
Oh,
few.
okay. Okay.
So before we get into our episode tonight, we need you guys to share this episode, tag your family, tag your friends, tag whomever, and let them experience what Wait Again Minute is about. I often say, and when I tell you, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, we cannot be explained. We only can be experienced. So with that being said, Mr. Harris, introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners of Wait Again Minute.
I'm Rashod. I'm 38, and I'm building a multi-million-dollar content agency. So that's pretty much who I am and what I'm about at the moment. So that's on the surface. I guess to go a little bit further than that.
Please do.
I'm a content strategist, a content coach. So I help people pretty much make their lives better by using social media content to actually help build their businesses. Or if you're somebody who actually is trying to get into the content creation space, I kind of help you come up with like workflows and templates to kind of help make sure that you're able to kind of get the most out of the projects that you work on.
Okay, cool. So what is it that you actually do though? Like I know you said that you come up with different templates, different little treatments or whatever for the people. Well, matter of fact, scratch that question. Why is it that like how did you come to do this?
So I have my business, the Rebel Society, and I've been actually doing that for the last 7 years. And pretty much what that is a content agency where I will help small businesses create content around their business to kind of bring in more eyes, pretty much create more visibility for whatever they had going on. So I did that and I still do that, but
Okay.
was doing that, and then I realized that I kind of want to help other people, just because my life kind of changed just by putting out content and actually running my business. I went from making 20,000, 30,000 my first 2 years.
Okay, as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
As a full-time entrepreneur, so I ain't have a job. I was just living off of 20 and 30,000, which is rough.
Yeah.
And so then to be able to kind of triple that over the last couple of years, just by putting myself out there, but also just coming up with different like I said, workflows and actually how to do what I do a little bit better and a little bit more seamless. And so over this last year, I really kind of not necessarily pivot, but I wanted to kind of do more with that. So I just started to put myself out there a little bit more with the content, put myself out there, kind of tell my story, be a little bit vulnerable with it.
Okay.
And with that, I've been able to kind of, coach other people on how they should actually do their content. coach, businesses, other creators, and kind of give them like the blueprint of what I've learned over my last, 7 years of putting myself out there, or how they should do it, and things that work and things that don't work.
Right. But my question to you is, like, what made you leave your day job and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this." Like, I think in order to do that, I think it takes guts to do that. Just be like, just walk away from, I know I'm gonna get paid on Thursdays or Fridays every other week or every Friday
Hmm.
to, going like you said, being an entrepreneur and going from making 20 to 30,000 dollars a year.
Yeah. So as a kid, or I can say as a kid, when I was in high school, people around me were entrepreneurs. Like my dad, my dad throws parties in Portsmouth. Like he throws some of the best parties.
Oh, he's a
But
promoter.
that's one of his hustles. That a very lucrative
Okay.
hustle. So I seen him do that, but he also has like car washes in the area. Shout
Okay.
out to my dad, Irvin, IDS. Go ahead and get your car washed, wax, all that stuff.
Shut up, Irvin, your daddy,
Yeah,
the one and down there in Virginia Beach Town Center.
yeah,
I know you lying. I
yeah,
know you. Irvin is your daddy.
yes.
I can't wait to tell Miss Go Getter when she. Oh my God, I can't wait to tell her. But go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my pops. I seen him do his thing. I have aunts and uncles who also had businesses. So I was like, you know what? I've been able to see how they were able to, if they need to make an extra $1,000 real quick, they know
Mm-hmm.
that they could do that. I
Right.
realized you couldn't do that at a job. You still had to wait your other 2 weeks, and you were only going to get paid what you're scheduled to get paid.
Right.
So there was no fluctuation in how much you can get paid. Plus, if I had something and my pops needed to be there, he could be like, all right, I'm off. Like I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make sure I'm there. So I saw that and was like, you know what, I need something like that. So I worked at a day job. I worked at a Citibank in Norfolk. Shout out all my
Okay.
people over there. I worked there for 8 years, and for the first 3-4 years, it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did something that I didn't really like that kind of gave me like a turning point. So um, I always say that my turning point for my job was I was living cool, but they hired like a new training class.
Mm-hmm.
They hired a new training class, and then like a month later, they fired all of them. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of fucked up. Like, why would you hire somebody, have them quit whatever job they were at just to fire them?
Right.
And so I was like, if they could do that to them, they could definitely do that to me. And so from that point on, like I still stayed there for another like 3 years. But from that
Okay.
point on, I was like, all right, I need to kind of build up my business because I don't want to live like that. And I wasn't the greatest at my job. Like people loved me, so they kept me around, and I,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a good job. But I wasn't the
Right.
person that was like, oh, I got to be, employee of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So I always felt like, I always had anxiety, like, oh, they could get rid of me any day now, and
Yeah.
and I hated my job, I hated what I actually did.
Okay.
So after a couple of years, I was like, it's that time. Me and my wife had a conversation. It was like, it's that time to kind of move on. And by the time my side business, which I was doing video photos and all that type of stuff, was
Mm-hmm.
making like a good like 1,500 a month. And I'm like, oh, this ain't
Good
bad, but
side hustle. Yeah.
it's a good side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I like if I'm only doing this on the weekends, if I did this Monday through, every day, then I can
Right.
kind of make more. So, and that's just what happened.
I'm still stuck on Irvin is your damn daddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Small world, small world. But you know what you to piggyback off of what you said, that is absolutely true. People can kind of get rid of you at any time, and you can be crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's, but yet and still, when they call your number, you gotta leave.
Right.
So, are you glad that you actually left? Like,
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
ever or do you regret it?
So it's two parts to this. I don't regret it. Sometimes I do wish I could be. This is gonna sound crazy to the average person, but I wish I could be a person that was. I'm gonna just say what I was in my head. I'm gonna
Oh
say.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
wish I could be regular in that I could be cool with just working, 9 to 5. Some people are just cool with that. Like they
Mm-hmm.
love the consistency of
Right.
coming in at 9, leaving at 5, and having that consistent check. I just wasn't raised that way.
Right.
Um, but sometimes I wish that I was that person that could just, what, as long as I got a job that give me my benefits and give me my, 50,000 a year, I can be
Mm-hmm.
good. So that's the one part that I wish I was kind of raised that way a little bit.
Okay.
But as far as just me, no, that was the day I quit my job was the best decision I've ever made in my life.
Wow. Well, that's actually good. And you know what though? I think I couldn't. I don't know if you were that person who you desired to be. if you be sitting here though. So I'm thankful that you are who you are, and that you were raised the way that you were raised. Because of that, you're sitting here, right?
Right, right, right.
So that's a good thing. Okay, now tell me a little bit about consistency. Like, how important is consistency, or do you think it is considered important?
No, it's very important. Everything great happens once you're consistent in life. Like no matter what it is, if you want to be better in your relationship, if you're consistent, you're going to become better at that. If you want to build a business, if you become disciplined and consistent with the small things, then you'll be great at your business. Um, if you want to be a great parent, if you do the same things over and over and just be consistent with your children, you're going to be a great parent. So I feel like everything great happens once you're consistent in life. So it's me. I just try to make sure, like I've always wanted to be consistent. That's probably like the
Mm-hmm.
hardest thing I've ever, not gonna say hardest, but it's a challenge for me because I let certain things kind of, block me from that. But now I'm kind of like on the path of, all right, once I kind of get the ball rolling, I know how to kind of keep this momentum up. And that's
Mm-hmm.
going to allow me to kind of, build out my business. So, and then I was consistent. I first got on the consistent train probably about 2 years ago.
Okay.
I was doing, I was on social media and I was putting out, they call it carousels. I was putting out carousel every day. And I did that for about 90 days. And I saw how my following started to grow. I saw that people started to reach out to me more. I saw my
Mm-hmm.
business was growing. I was like, oh, this is what happens when you're consistent. Like things start to happen.
Right. So, okay, now back up a little bit. Explain to us what carousel is for those who don't know.
Carousel is when you're on Instagram and it's where you can like swipe over. So if you had like 10 pictures, you can swipe over. You can post 10 pictures at one time. But what
Okay.
I was doing is actually making it more so like a little book, based off of if I want to do a post about how to grow your business. Each
Mm-hmm.
slide would be something different and pertaining to how to grow your business. So that's
Okay.
pretty much what the carousel did. And I did it on different topics. Whatever came up in my mind that was more so like marketing or social media related, I was doing the carousel about it.
Right. So do you have any experience in it, or this is something that you just, you found your niche and it's like, dang, like I like this. Like, I'm gonna make this pop.
As far as what, just the
Like content creator creating.
um I mean, before I started doing like video work in my business, I
Right.
didn't.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like I didn't go to like film school or anything like that. I went to school for business administration. Shout out to Norfolk State, behold the green and gold.
Oh man, here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
But go
So
ahead.
so yeah, I went to Norfolk State for business administration, and then I
Okay.
wanted to get into doing marketing for like small businesses. So I had a business partner. Shout out to KG. I'll see you next week. Um, so me and KG had a business. He did the more so creative work, and I did the more so
Mm-hmm.
marketing work. And then after a while, I wanted to learn more of the creative side because everything in business and marketing revolves around creative in some way or fashion.
Right.
So I learned how to use a camera, and then I was trash for the first couple of years, and then over a while, I got a little bit better, and then I got good at it. So
No, now let me ask you this. Now, during the period where you were trash, people were paying you, right?
yeah,
So when you look back at your work, do you be like, damn, like they really was paying me for this?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean,
I mean, it was good then, but compared to like now, you like you've seen your growth. You've seen, how your business has transitioned, how you actually doing what you did has transitioned from, okey doke to, it's you can see the progression.
right, 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 right. No, it was definitely trash, and I'm still surprised that people paid me for it. But yeah, it was super trash. Like, but then it got better, and I feel like back then it wasn't like everybody was doing video like how it is
Right.
now.
Yeah. Okay.
So the people that were doing video were cool. Like you ain't really have nothing to kind of compare it to,
Okay.
especially like on a local level.
Right. Okay.
But then once everybody doing, then you gotta rise up as well.
Right.
So I mean that's pretty much what happened to me. Like I started to do it every day, and then I just got consistently better over time.
Okay, so now when you're saying like from then to now, where it's like overly saturated in a lot of fields, like how are you different from what makes Rashod Harris different from the next? What makes you stand out?
Um, not to be
Be arrogant.
not to be arrogant. Not to be arrogant. But yeah, just to being myself. Like
Yeah.
I stand out amongst people just by me being me.
Okay.
And that's, let's see how I want to phrase this.
Being authentic?
No, definitely being authentic, but I just like in natural every day I stand out because I'll leave that alone. But so yeah, me being me, which is it's pulling me to say this.
Look, you on Way to Get a Minute, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
therefore, you can say what you want to say. Like, you don't bite your tongue.
True.
It's Way to Get a Minute.
True. So I've always felt like I was different than people around me. Like,
Okay.
especially being from Portsmouth, Virginia, a lot of people kind of fall in the, not necessarily like the the urban box, but I kind of like am a mixture of both worlds. I like I
Man,
very
if you
much,
don't spit it out,
I'm very much all right. I'm very much like a nigga,
right. Mm-hmm.
but I can also be like, wear a suit and tie.
Right.
So I can kind of balance those worlds. So I feel like I've always stood out because I never was the super hood guy, but I was also never the super corporate polished guy. So I've
Okay.
always been able, so I stand out in both of those worlds.
Right. So you actually can pivot and
Right.
wherever you, however and wherever you actually need to be, right?
Right.
So I get that, and it's good that you can do that. So because a lot of people can't.
True.
Some, like, to be honest with you, some people are born with it,
Right.
and some people it's a skill.
Right.
So yeah, you definitely don't look like the average. Like, if somebody was to look at you now, they would sum you up as being a nigga, like,
Yeah.
a roughneck or whatever. But
Think I give off roughneck vibes?
yeah, yeah, DMX. Like, but no, like, they'll be look at you like, you're a thug,
Oh, wow.
because the way you dress and the way you look. But that doesn't mean that that's who you are. And
Okay.
your work definitely stands out. It doesn't look urbish, if that's a word.
Urbanish.
Yeah, urbanish,
Yeah.
if that's a word.
Yeah.
But
I mean, to answer your question, like that was just on the surface, but like really the thing that makes you stand out, as far as when I, like, a lot of people just don't put themselves out there, and I really have no problem. I actually feel comfort in putting myself out there, even the vulnerable stuff. Like, I lost a major client, and I put that story out there.
okay. But what happened with that?
I don't really want to talk about that part. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't
But
really wanna talk about
did you learn from it?
yeah, that's
Did you
why
learn an experience?
I put out, what I actually learned from that experience.
Okay.
And so when I put out pieces of content like that, that actually draws people, because a lot of people don't talk about that. Or I talk about how this is how I make money. These are the ways that you can actually make money as well. A lot of people don't talk about that.
Right.
And I'm actually just sharing the journey of actually how I'm creating a company. A lot of people don't talk about that. So,
especially if they do talk about it, they talk about it, and a fee comes attached with it. Like,
right.
That's one thing I can say about you, and I sit back and I watch a lot. Like, you do put a lot out, you know, in the public eye. Like, you do, and to me, I chalk it up as, you're putting your seeds out there.
Right.
You're planting, because, and from that, when you harvest, hopefully and prayerfully, and I'm sure it has already, you've gained from that. But my question to you is, when you were just speaking about vulnerability, or about being vulnerable, you have a client, right? And that client is very vulnerable, like, but they come to you for whatever it is that they want, right? And you wrote this treatment for them, and they're kind of scared to do it. How would you encourage them to do what you need them to do?
A lot of people are just scared to be vulnerable. So I really don't ever get it that way. I get it the other way. Like, people don't want to be vulnerable.
Right.
But I always, for me, my personal thing is like, just be authentically you. So if you're not somebody that's comfortable with being vulnerable, then don't be vulnerable. You can kind of give a little, tidbits of information, but you don't got to give like, hey, my grandma died 5 years ago. I was really broke down. I was depressed. You ain't really got to go there. You could just say, hey, my grandma died and I was affected. But so you ain't really got to talk about emotions. So I always say, like, if you're not somebody that's, cool with being honest with your feelings and emotions, then don't. You can show or, showcase something else. But I feel like, since a lot of people aren't really real with those type of things, that's something that's automatically going to make you stand out if you decide to go that route. But if you're not comfortable with it, then don't do it.
Right. Now, if you had to write a treatment for me, right,
Hmm.
for Wait Again a Minute, and we just came to you, like we don't know where we want to go, what we want. Only thing we know is we want you to shoot it. We want you to create it. Off
Hmm.
the top of your head, what would you come up with for us?
Okay. So, all right, let's get into how I normally operate then.
Okay.
All right. So, first thing I would say is, what is it that you want to do?
Okay. So what is it we want to do? All the only thing we know is we want a commercial. Like we don't know how we want it. We just know that we want to Wait Again a Minute commercial. That's it.
Okay. So, y'all want a commercial.
Hmm.
And what do you want to showcase in your commercial?
I would say we want to show just us being authentic. Show that we can talk about basically anything.
Okay.
Wide range of topics. That we are unfiltered and unapologetic, but yet with a little um cuff to it. We're not like real like raw and disrespectful, but
Hmm.
we say what we say, we mean what we say, and that's what it is.
Okay. And what's the goal of this commercial?
The goal is to introduce to put us out there before an audience that we don't even know, for them to know more about what we do in a short period of time, but something catchy, something edgy, but straight and to the point.
Okay. So, just based off of those three questions alone, um, the way I would set up a video or visual for y'all that would kind of create more visibility for the brand
Hmm.
is I would do a video where either you or your co-host, y'all call each other and say, "Hey, tonight is recording night or whatever like that."
Right.
Both of y'all kind of get fly in y'all respective outfits and y'all respective locations,
Hmm.
and then y'all kind of come here, look very cinematic. Y'all walking across the street, wind blowing, all that type of stuff. Pull up in a nice car.
Yeah.
And then when y'all get here, it's showtime. You might have y'all kind of just cutting up, might have guests coming in and out. And then at the end of the night, y'all kind of, give each other a toast of, whatever y'all drinking on, something like that.
Okay.
Something real short and sweet, 30, 45 seconds, but it'd be
Right.
something that kind of grabs people's attention.
Absolutely. I like that. So how much would something like that cost?
So I only work in packages. So my
Okay.
starter package is at 1,500. But that's, multiple pieces of content.
Okay.
But something like that can be included up.
Okay. So I really like that. Like I do. Um because when you were sitting there talking about it, I could actually visualize what you would, you know,
Hmm.
what you were thinking of. So that's cool. So that lets me know that you can move quickly on your feet.
Yeah.
Now, you've been doing this, like what is the ultimate goal for you?
So it's two things. First is I really want to build a multi-million-dollar content agency,
Okay.
and for me, that's having multiple businesses and running those businesses through my content company and be able to, pretty much flip them and buy other businesses.
Right.
But the content agency, I really want to be like. Um, it's an agency that handles all of Nike stuff called Wydell and Kennedy, Wyden and Kennedy.
Mhm.
And they do all of like LeBron stuff, all of like I said, Nike stuff, and a lot of just a major agency.
Okay.
So I want to do like Nike campaigns. That's kind of my major goal with that. To do large scale productions, be able to run a Nike campaign, all that good stuff. Um, on the flip side, my other goal is to be able to build up this area, and have other people doing content or really just putting themselves out there to kind of help grow their brands.
Right. Okay.
Because I feel like one of the issues with this area, and I know anytime, anytime somebody from this area gets on the mic, they always talk about what this area needs.
Right.
And I feel like the one thing this area needs is just people to put themselves out on social media, because all that what that does is make sure everybody rises up at the same time, because
Mhm.
now more eyes are on the area. And then instead of me or such and such is the only people that's out there on social media, now you got 20, 30, 50, 100 500 people all
Right.
on social media, so we can all rise up, and now the area just has more eyes on it, and then you can kind of do way more things.
Cool. Now, do you think that you're arrogant? And I'm gonna tell you why I asked you that, because I was speaking with someone, like a lot of times people find out people are coming on your show, or they like, well, have you met such and such or whatever? And I was like, yeah. It was like, I think he's arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the person, I don't think so. Like, I don't, to me, that's not who I see and the experience that I've had with you.
Okay.
So, but do you think that you're arrogant?
What's the definition of arrogant?
Now, I knew you was gonna ask me that. Um, the proper definition, we had look that one up, because I want to make sure that we're actually correct. But in the meantime, while we're looking up,
Having or revealing an exaggerated sense of one's own importance or abilities. No, that doesn't define me.
I love it, and like you have a straight face too. It's like I love it.
Because
But
I'm a lot of things, but that
mhm,
I never had read the definition of arrogance. I could have
yeah, me
been,
either.
but that I'm very much aware of my importance and my
Mhm,
abilities. So it's
yeah,
not exaggerated at all.
yeah. I think a lot of times people put things on people, um, because they're used to a certain type of people
Mm-hmm.
and doing a certain type of thing. So anytime you do different from off the cuff from what one knows, then it's something wrong.
Right.
It's always
People
something
want you
wrong.
to be meek and be quiet and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
I have versions of myself that are like that, and sometimes I'm not. Maybe I'm cocky. Let's look cocky. What does that say?
but it's the straight face for me though.
Conceited or arrogant, especially in a bold or impudent way. Brush. Yeah, I mean that includes the word arrogant, so that's not me
Hmm.
either. So
No, I would just say you're confident in who you are, and
yeah,
in your ability to do what you do. You know,
yeah.
and that's just what it is. But that's their assumption of you.
Yeah, I feel like people just want you to be meek and not really claim the things that you are, because a lot of men aren't like that.
Hmm.
So now that I have the confidence, like you should have never gave me confidence. Like you never should have gave me success to be able to come out here and say that this is what I am and this is what I do. So now that I've gotten a little bit of success, I know what I bring to the table.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's nothing wrong knowing what you bring to the table. You
Yeah.
know, and everybody brings, a little bit to the table, whatever it is, and you respect people and you move forward. But I mean, I didn't really um entertain it like that, and but I just wanted to ask you, so because it's good to know what people think of you or a person thought of you.
Yeah, and that's the first time I've ever heard. If multiple people said that, I'm like, oh, that might be something to that. But that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. So, Shad, like,
Oh, matter of fact, let me ask you, what is your
okay.
opinion of me?
My opinion of you is this: you are who you are. You don't put on or you know be anybody else. Like what you say is what you say.
Mm,
Is what you mean. Like our first time meeting you, you like look. Or when I was talking to you, like look, this is what I want to do. You know, and that's what you did. So I didn't expect anything less,
okay.
because you told me what it was and what your expectations were, and I took it for that because you followed through with it.
Yeah.
So other than that, it really
Okay.
don't matter to me.
Okay.
So how is the personal life? I know you're married and
Mm-hmm.
with the kid, and so how is that? And especially being, doing content, and I see you've incorporated those two in it as well.
Yeah. So it's good. So I have a toddler. Shout out my baby girl Zion. She's gonna be 2 in a couple of weeks.
Okay,
So and I've been married for 10 years. So
you a vet,
yeah, I've been in this for a little minute. So I feel like I've kind of got the hang of being a husband. I mean, it took long enough.
right?
As well as being a father. Like I just posted in a video recently. Like I feel like over the last 6 months now that my baby girl is getting older, where she's walking and talking and asking
Mm-hmm.
for stuff, and I can really like hang with her now.
Okay.
Um, that I've enjoyed fatherhood a lot more than I probably did the first year, just because it
Okay.
was a lot of a lot of like long nights and stuff like that.
Transition,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's a big
Yeah.
transition. So now that she's actually able to kind of move around and then we can go to the park and kind of do things, I've actually like enjoyed fatherhood a lot. But yeah, last year was rough. It was very rough. So just trying to, now that I'm getting the hang of it, like it's smooth sailing from here.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen the video you did when you had her a couple of videos you actually had her in.
Mhm.
And then I seen the one where I think I saw the other day where your wife was narrating.
Uh-huh.
It was actually cool. She has a
Yeah.
nice voice too.
Yeah.
So so that kind of works hand in hand with what you got going on.
Right.
So, Shad,
What's up?
what is it that people don't know about you? Like, tell me two things that people don't know about you just by looking at you. Besides you not urban-ish.
Not urbanish. Oh no, that's a loaded question. I used to work at Disney World.
How you used to work at Disney
I
doing
had an
what?
internship.
And you was here? I mean, you
No,
went do it
no,
for the summer or something?
I stayed there for like 6 to 8 months, something like that.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
With Disney World.
yeah, they had a whole college program. So it was mad people in apartment complexes that were like,
Mm-hmm.
18 to 22. So
Oh.
it was a wild time. But yeah, that's something a lot of people don't know. I mean, other than that, I'm pretty open book. Yeah, I don't know.
So other than that, everybody pretty much know who you are.
Yeah, I mean, the people that know me or the people that follow me, you probably get a understand who I am.
Yeah. So why do you do some of the things you do, like far as giving out dropping a lot of gems? Like when you're doing your content, because I've been following you for a while. Matter of fact, I heard you today on a broadcast today,
Mm-hmm.
and you were saying pretty much everything that you do, you record, right?
Right.
Because you never know when that special moment is.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you? Dang, what was my question? I forgot
You
my
said
daggone question.
why do I put out all the
Yeah,
things I do?
why do you put out what you do for everybody and it's free? So it's not like you do it for a certain demographic of people. It's for everybody.
Yeah. All right, so when I first started with a camera when I was like 26, 27,
Mm-hmm.
I was completely lost. Like I said before, I was completely trash. But I had no idea what I was doing. And there was no resources that would kind of point me in the right direction.
Okay.
So a lot of things I had to learn like on the job where I messed up a lot. Messed up a hell of a lot. So now I create content for that version of me that was 26, 27 years old and didn't have an idea of what they were doing. So when you see me put out, videos on doing sound or getting clients or how much you should charge, when I think about that, I'm thinking of, all right, 27-year-old Rashod was charging $300 for, an all day shoot or something like that.
Ooh.
That's fucked up. You should never
Yeah,
do
oh
that.
my God.
Right. So now it's like, all right, that version of me had no idea how much you should charge or at least the ballpark where you should be at.
Mm-hmm.
So now I was like, all right, that 27-year-old Rashod needs to know this, or 27-year-old Rashod needs to know that, and that just helps other people. Larger than that, I really just want people to like follow their dreams. Like,
Right.
you don't have to. One of my things that I've always said from being around here, no disrespect to the people that work at the shipyard, I just didn't want to be a guy that just worked at the shipyard.
Yeah.
And like I said, no disrespect. I know mad people that work at the shipyard and they killing it. They make a lot of money. But I just didn't want to be that guy that did that. I felt like, there was more to my life than just working at the shipyard.
Right.
So with that, I want people, and I feel like a lot of people have dreams and things that they want to do, but they're just kind of scared to get out of their comfort zone. So I want to be the living proof of like, yo, if you follow your dreams and really work your ass off to kind of get to where you want to, then you can make anything in your life happen.
That's absolutely true. So you actually took my next question to you. That was that to say something to somebody. But my final question to you is, how do you know the content that you are creating is one, the right content, and two, um if it's garbage? Like how do you know what's good and what's not? Put it that way.
For me or for just people in general?
People in general.
to me, for one of the signs that I knew that my content was working is that people that never interact with my content was when I saw them on the streets. Excuse me. When I saw them on the streets, they were telling me how great my content was,
Okay.
or it's like, yo, your content really spoke to me. So for anybody else, like if people start to like, recognize you on the street or anything like that, then you're doing a pretty solid job.
You know what? Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, and like for me, like one thing that I started doing that I know that I'm on the right path. Like I recently had a video go viral for me. It had like almost 100,000 views on it. And what I do now is that people that follow me, like pretty much almost everybody that follow me, unless your page look like real like Spanish, I'll send them a message like, "Hey, appreciate the follow."
Okay.
And so those people replying back like, "Hey, your videos really spoke to me. Like, I love what you're doing as far as having that mission and all that type of stuff." And pretty much everybody is saying the same thing that replies back.
Okay.
So now I know like, hey, I'm doing something right. I just need to kind of keep tweaking it to kind of make sure that I'm giving value, or keep making sure that speaking toward the audience that I want to speak to. So those are the things that really did it for me. Like, as somebody that went to Norfolk State, anytime I went to Norfolk State homecoming, my wife can attest to this. Like, people will come to me like, "Yo, your content, I love what you're doing." Type
Right.
thing. So that was like, a light bulb just kept going off my head. Like, yo, you're on the right path. You just got to kind of keep making this format of what you're doing better and better.
Absolutely. Well, I have enjoyed our time. I've learned a lot. I mean, as I knew that I would.
Mm.
But we ask all of our guests how their time has been since they've been on Wait Again Minute podcast. So, and yeah, you're no different. So, how's your time been, Charlotte?
It's been good. Hopefully this one comes out, because I was up here before dropping gems. I want to tell you, like, I ain't gonna hold you.
Right.
That first episode was the greatest video I've ever done. Like, I feel like I was in here sweating. I was giving out everything I had, and the joint never came out. I was a little tight. So when you asked me to come back up here, I was a little tight, but I'm up here. I dropped some more gems. But the first one,
Yeah.
and I got the video of the first one.
You do?
I do have that.
Well, why you didn't tell me then? Well, we could have used your video then.
You could have, but I don't know.
So,
I
but
was tight.
maybe we still can do like some little content with that.
Yeah.
get
We could do something with it, because it's the greatest thing that I've ever did. I was about to be here butt naked, just talking trash. I was about to come out my shirt because I was just so hyped and pumped up.
But
yeah, it was a great episode.
yeah, but you're back, and that's why I said, like, I didn't write down anything. I was just like, whatever comes up comes out, and we're just gonna vibe, because you have that type of personality anyway. So that's a plus on your end.
Yeah, I've done this for a little while, so I know
Yeah,
how to jazz this up.
yeah. I definitely appreciate it, and I know you was a little tight, because when I reached out to you, you kind of gave me a little standoffish, like a little pump fake or whatever. At first, I was like, I understood, but I tried my best to retrieve it, but I couldn't.
Mhm.
So with that being said, you're here, and we're gonna move forward. We still gonna be family, like we still gonna be cool,
We always cool.
and yeah, I'm excited for you, like for real, like
I
all jokes
appreciate
aside,
it.
like I'm excited because when I do see your content, I honestly don't look at you from being from Portsmouth, number one.
Mhm.
Two, from being from this area,
Mhm.
because to me,
Shout out my people from Suffolk too.
oh yeah, that's
Blah
right.
blah blah.
But I think that your content, one, it supersedes your name,
Mhm.
and it just looks good. It doesn't look like it's from around here. Put it that
Okay.
way. So that to me is a plus. So I just encourage you to keep going, keep doing what you're doing, and keep creating that content. And then you while you're creating your content, you are um others are looking, including us, and we want to do the same thing, create our content. You make us want to stay consistent
That's the
and do what
goal.
we're supposed to do.
That is the mission, to kind of help make sure everybody else want to stay consistent as well.
So look at that camera right there. I need you to tell people where, right here, right in front of you, right there. Yep. And tell people, yep, right there. Tell people where they can find you at.
So you can find me everywhere at Rashod Harris. You can also find me on YouTube, which is something I've actually been pushing a lot and I feel very passionate about, which is my YouTube page at Rashod Harris, RASHOD HARRIS. You can also find me at the Nasman River 20-year 2003 reunion coming up pretty soon. Make sure you're there. If you ain't got your tickets, make sure you get your tickets. If you went to Nasman, you can also find me at my man Driver's Made in Norfolk shop. I'm not from Norfolk, but I'm in there a lot. So make sure you buy a shirt, get you a fish sandwich, do all that. Also, shout out to my man GA. He's actually about to start doing therapy. I'm just shouting out people I know at this point. He's gonna be giving therapy, so if you need to get your mind right, go there. Shout out to my man Sean. He out here just telling jokes and shit. So make sure you holler at Deshaun. Shout out to my wife. She's great. She's beautiful. She's starting her business, and she actually is on IG as well. Dr. L Harris. Go ahead and holler at her.
not doctor.
Yeah, my wife is a doctor. Yeah,
Okay.
she's walking 6 figures out here. So,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
shout out my baby girl. I love you. Daddy loves you. Shout out to Gam. She killing it. And shout out to everybody I know. I'm trying to think if there any more shout outs I can give. Shout out to Grove Church. I'll be there Sunday. You know how we do it a video.
Oh, you and Reverend Myrna?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do the videos over there. Shout out to Onyx Realty. You know, y'all been holding me down for like 3 years. I'll be in there every Wednesday.
This dude crazy.
And just shout out people in Portsmouth. Yeah, shout out people in Portsmouth. Shout out people in Suffolk. Shout out people in Chesapeake.
Everybody, shout out everybody that knows you because somebody will get mad because you ain't called their name.
Yeah. Shout out people that know me. I'm trying to find somebody random to shout out. Shout out my pops. Shout out my mom. She would be mad. She'd be tight if I only shout out my dad. Shout out my sister. Shout out my stepmom. Shout out my grandma. Shout out my mother-in-law. Shout out my
everybody. So with that being said, and who?
I'm out of breath.
You out of breath. So with that being said, Shop, we definitely want to thank you for stopping by again and hollering at us and just doing what you do best, dropping them jewels. So we'll see you guys next Thursday, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, definitely share this episode tonight.
Do it now. Do it right now.
Good
Do
night.
it right now before I come to your house.
Good night. You're a damn fool, yo.